Hi everyone, welcome to my review of Wonder Woman. This film stars Gal Gadot and Chris Pine and is the latest, the fourth, I think, in the DC Cinematic Universe. And I have to say, I think this could be a turning point for the DC Cinematic Universe because I agree with the critics for the most part. I think that Wonder Woman is a very fun, action-packed movie, and I hope to see more DC movies like this in the future. The plot of the film is that there's this princess of the Amazon based off of Greek mythology named Diana, and she grows up on this magical, mystical island in the middle of nowhere. We're basically cut off from the rest of the world. She's basically part god. She was molded from clay. I don't think I'm really spoiling anything. I think that was touched upon at the start or something, but one day an American soldier shows up, stumbles on the island, and he's being chased by a bunch of German soldiers, and after a battle, Diana decides that she believes it is Ares who is making men fight and act like this, and so she decides to go along with Chris Pine in order to stop and kill Ares to try to end this, because Ares is the son of Zeus and is the god of war. Now, the two of them travel to England and eventually to No Man's Land, where they sort of band together with some other people, and they basically seek to try to find this chemical weapons facility and destroy it. And in doing so, Princess Diana thinks that she will be able to stumble upon Ares. And throughout the film, Princess Diana is very oblivious to sort of the world outside of her own island. She doesn't understand, London or the war or anything like that. She doesn't really understand, how these people live and how they talk and how they act. And honestly, that makes for some very humorous moments. Like, unlike Batman vs. Superman, there's generally just, funny moments in this movie, actual jokes, which, you'd hope that in a superhero movie there would be some. I can't think of a single incident in Batman v Superman where there was any humor. So, kudos to Wonder Woman. No, there's some legitimately just funny moments in the movie between, the characters, and I just thought that was great to see. At the same time, the movie does have its very serious moments, and most importantly, it's just a really fun movie. And it feels like a very coherent plot from start to finish, whereas Batman vs. Superman felt like 5 movies struggling for attention and none of them really holding up. This movie, despite its shortcomings, has a consistent storyline, consistent characters, and beginning, middle, and end progression, which is basically that's script writing 101, folks. I'm not an expert at script writing, but I think that's how it's done or something. But yeah, Wonder Woman, I do think, is a legitimately very solid film. Now, the movie's not perfect. The first act of the movie can move a little bit slowly, and there are some characters that are built up and that are important, but things happen to them that don't feel like they really have the emotional impact that they should, and don't really get brought up again later on. And I want to say the ending of the movie, while it was still really fun to watch in terms of just action, I felt just slightly underwhelming to me. I felt like some of the villains weren't really that built up or given that much character or screen time or context to really be as important as they could have been. But it still wasn't bad. But all in all, the movie just, it has some legitimate heart to it. It has some really fun characters and just has some really, really fun action scenes. Just the cinematography of how the action scenes were shot, it's just a lot of fun to watch, and it makes sense in the context. And there's actual, I think, stunt work in this movie by some of the actors, which I think is terrific. Of course, there is CGI. It's got, some crazy stuff too, but even then, it's not as in your face as a lot of CGI gets these days, like in Terminator Genesis or whatever. So Wonder Woman, I would highly recommend that you go see. I also want to add that, like, I don't usually get into this subject. I also like that this is a movie that has a female lead, and I think that's awesome, personally, but it's also not like, you know, like the most recent Ghostbusters where, you know, it was basically taking shots at men every chance it could get. Like, this film doesn't do that. Like, it's definitely very empowering for, you know, the female lead, which I think is awesome, but, you know, it's basically also like, yeah, it's a, you know, a female main character, no big deal, and I was like, cool, I'm down for that. Basically, like I said, I don't usually get into that stuff in my videos. So yeah, all in all, Wonder Woman, very fun movie, not perfect, but definitely worth seeing. I would actually urge you to watch this movie because it is definitely the best DC superheroes movie in a long time, at least, I want to say, in the last 8 years. Definitely nowhere near as good as The Dark Knight or Batman Begins, but still very solid, and I'm happy to give this film a 4.5 smiley faces out of 5. Thank you so much for watching my latest film review. Stay tuned for more, and until next time, peace out!